I'm inside and I saw The Boys Season 2 Episode 6, The Bloody Doors Off. It is directed by Sarah Boyd, written by Anselm Richardson, and if you haven't seen this episode, I will spoil it for you. This episode starts and we're following Frenchie and Kumiko and also Mother's Milk. They break into a facility and just release all the Compound V patients. They just do that, you know? They weren't intending on making sure everyone broke out, but everyone ended up breaking out. And I'm like, oh, this is a disaster. You also want to know what's a disaster? Starlight is kidnapped and put into this cell with no light whatsoever. And I'm just thinking, this sounds and looks terrifying. I couldn't stand being in a box like that. Like, I don't know how she's going to be able to do it. She seems like she's going to madly suffer, and I do like the bonus of no lights in there, so she cannot use any of her powers. And like, man, Vought knows exactly what they're doing. They're here to yoink up Starlight and make sure that she's a prisoner forever. And I'm just curious, how long did they intend on keeping Starlight in that cage for? It's also being publicized how Starlight is a traitor. She's a traitor to Vought, everyone. And now it seems like everyone is being primed to go against Starlight. Everyone who's in the public who's like, yeah, I'm on Vought's side, woohoo, superheroes, you know, they're like, we're not on Starlight's side. So I would imagine that even if she wasn't locked up, she would have a hard time trying to convince anyone, actually, that Vought is doing some shady stuff. Amongst one of those people, though, who was taken out of that facility, we got Lamplighter. And he used to be part of the Seven, but he's no longer part of the Seven. And I do like how he's in a predicament where he's forced to side on the side of the boys because A, they released him and Vought locked him up. And I'm just thinking, ooh, I wonder what he did to warrant such a lockup. Like, did you kill somebody? I don't even think that was it, because Homelander and frickin' Stormfront has killed somebody and they're not being locked up right now. I mean, Stormfront killed somebody as Liberty and then like her entire identity changed as a result. So Lamplighter must have done something really horrendous or something against Vought to warrant him being locked up here. Through this, they learn the extent of the Compound V testing. They're testing it on adults now. I'm like, so there's gonna be just adult superheroes? How much money do you have to have in order to make yourself a superhero? Can any rich billionaire just be a superhero? I don't necessarily think that's a good idea, because then any just rich guy can just be like, I'm a superhero now, and it's like, where that guy's priorities lie, though? Is it saving the folks that are just too poor to give him money, and so he doesn't care about them or something? I don't think that you should do adult Compound V. I mean, you shouldn't do Compound V at all, but if you're going to choose babies doing Compound V and freaking adults doing it, I really think you should just have them do babies, honestly. But both are bad, but between the two, I'd choose babies, because adults already have their motivations, what they're going to do with the Compound V once they have it. Sure, there will probably be some really good people come out of this, but there's also going to be, like, megalomaniacs, is that the right term? Supervillains that come out of this, like, billionaire supervillains. Like, imagine if Batman was a bad guy. That's what I would imagine happened with adult Compound V. What's also interesting is that Stormfront's the very first Compound V test subject, and she was the first successful one. Why was Stormfront chosen, though? Well, she's a widow to the founder, and this was during the 30s. And I do like her telling the whole entire backstory of her to Homelander, and it's like, oh, she's like a really bad person. She's an actual Nazi. She was part of the Nazi party. Like, how much more Nazi can you get? I wonder what Homelander thinks about this, but the episode doesn't really focus on what Homelander thinks. It just kind of is like, yeah, I was the first Compound V guy, and if it weren't for me, you wouldn't be here, Homelander. And I think that must make Homelander feel really unimportant, I guess, because he's just another one of those guys. He's just another guy, and Stormfront's the first guy. And now I think there's a power play. There's like a power struggle between Homelander and Stormfront that's like subtly happening. I think Stormfront's actually going to take the power because she's doing little manipulation tactics to Homelander. She's like, oh yeah, I was actually here before you, and I know that you're not as powerful. I'm not as powerful as you, but I can talk you down. And so I think she's eventually just going to take over Vought. She's already started. She's got people protesting like, no more Vought or whatever. You know, she's like the leader of the rebellion, but it's all a ploy. I don't trust Stormfront at all. What's interesting, Mauve finds some GoPro in the ocean, and that has some video evidence of Homelander not saving the plane. He let it crash. Ooh, I'm so excited. I really want Maeve to, like, Mauve, whatever, however you pronounce her name. I just want her to pull that card eventually, like, Homelander, I have proof that you did not save this plane. And I'm like, ooh, this is exciting. Ooh, things are heating up. Also, A-Train is going to the church that the Deep's part of, and I'm like, oh, is the church where everybody goes where they're not accepted by the Seven anymore because Homelander kicks them out / they're not allowed at the Seven anymore? Alright, okay. I feel like the church is gaining more and more power, and I would not be surprised if more the Seven members became part of the church. This episode has got me all like, ooh, it's so juicy. You got a bunch of juicy stuff going on. Ooh, you know, I like it. I'm really excited to see what happens in episode 7 and episode 8. I gotta give this episode, it's a solid 7.7 out of 10. If you like this review, watch another one the platform really likes that. If you want a fast track boo review, you can do that for $20 redeemers at patreon.com/ASEPresents. And if you like help support the daily grindiness of all the daily movie reviews, go to this link tree. Find the way you can help support the daily grind of all them daily movies, so you can go here. And until next time, I'm in Sound Saw. I'll see you later, my sour croutons and bacon bits.